Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nerden here once again, and in today's video I am going to be doing my review for the first episode of Doctor Who Flux, aka Doctor Who Series 13, this brand new format that got a lot of people excited because Chris Chibnall in the past has worked really well with one big story sort of format with other shows such as Broadchurch, and with Doctor Who, yeah, his era has kind of been a little bit of a mixed bag. And, going into a final season with Jodie's Doctor and obviously the current cast and production team, because if you all didn't know, Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker, and presumably the rest, are going to be leaving by next year. So 2022 will be the final swan song for this era of Doctor Who. But we've got a shorter season this year. Series 13 is now called Doctor Who Flux, and it is one big story that will be continuous. So instead of having standalone stories and Monster of the Week, it's all tied together. And this is what this debut episode, the Halloween Apocalypse, does so well. And yes, a lot of people I've seen online already being saying, yes, it's felt so good, but it's a setup episode. The setup episodes are always important. And I've got to say, I am pretty much already invested in this, because we've got a new threat, we've got the Flux, we've got the entire existence of everything under threat. This is a big threat, and Chris Chibnall has started off the season in a big way with huge consequences for the rest of the universe. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, there's a lot that's going on. So with this review, I'm going to be talking about what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy, etc. And yeah, there will be spoilers. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into this review. Okay, where do I start? Well, obviously this is the first episode with John Bishop's character Dan Lewis, and despite the airtime being around about 50 minutes, there was a lot of time to detail this character, this new companion, with a traditional companion introduction story. But Chris Chibnall did something pretty clever here. So we did get a solid background of Dan's character. He's got an interest in a woman, who he's kind of going on a date with, that he doesn't get to go on a date with, but we'll get to see what happens later on in the season with that. But yeah, he does have a love interest. He's got he has a job as a plasterer. He wants to be a museum tourist, though. He's not exactly getting his own way. And he helps out at a food bank as well. And we do know that he's struggling with money. So we get kind of basic facts already. So there's not too much time spent dwelling on other elements. And we do get a thorough understanding with the character of Dan. Now, compared to Ryan and Graham of the previous two seasons, I feel like we didn't fully connect. With Graham, yes, but with Ryan, no. And I feel like Chris Chibnall's kind of learnt this lesson, and he's gone in, not in depth, but he's played out the important cards in a card game, and he's like, okay, let's see how that goes. And it has worked so far. I am already more invested in Dan than I have been with the other two companions already. I can't wait to see what happens. But let's get back onto the episode. So we are introduced to the character of Dan. That's very interesting, and obviously he links directly into the new character called Carbonista. That is a very interesting alien that doesn't actually want to invade. Him and the Lupari, that's his race, they want to essentially protect the planet of Earth against the Flux in a pretty interesting way, where they have like the exact number of ships to save one human each on each ship, so all of the population on Earth are saved. And a very interesting plot, but the Flux is essentially going through planet by planet through solar system, wiping everything out. And we do get a few CGI shots of aliens and civilizations being destroyed, and that's what I loved about this. We have seen big consequences already that you would expect in a finale, but we're getting them now, and it does certainly set things up for a big twist later on as well. I do feel like we are going to get a big twist with this story, but there's a lot of things going on that certainly make me question like who the Division are, what their ties to Flux, how was the Flux originally created. We still don't know that, obviously. It's the first episode. But, yeah. But going back onto the episode, I've got to say I'm already interested in the villains already. I think these are either the Ravengers or the Swarm. I think they're the Swarm. I think I made a mistake in one of my earlier videos. I think they're called the Swarm. And essentially, the Swarm are kind of like, I guess, the harbingers of the Flux. Like, they must have some ties to it. It hasn't really fully been explained. However, they do have ties to the Division. The Division are obviously, you know, the kind of semi-antagonists that were hinted at in Series 12 that does pay off here. You know, we get to see that the Division were kind of arrogant and stuff like that. You know, they thought they could keep the Swarm captured, and then boom, he's free. He is free. But yeah, the way this episode works in terms of, you know, setting everything up, it does work really well, because once you get one setup, another setup follows. So, for example, with this character, I can't remember her name now for the life of me, but we get this female character meet the Doctor and Yaz just as Dan's house shrinks. And we get introduced this character in a very interesting way, in kind of like a Stephen Moffat way, where she met the Doctor in the past, in her past. And then obviously, for those who haven't been keeping up to date with the promo stuff, we know that we were going to see the Weeping Angels. And yes, we did. The Weeping Angels showed up in a very cool way and sent this woman back in time, or forward in time. I don't know. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens there. But it's just another element as well. Alongside the Sontarans, we're getting each future chapter set up with their respective monsters, where the story is ongoing, but each chapter is its own thing. And it's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy. But another thing I did enjoy about this episode is that the CGI and the special effects are on point. And I feel like the budget this year, with COVID restrictions affecting going abroad, that this era has done a lot with random parts filmed abroad and stuff. I feel like the sole focus on visual effects has really paid off, especially with the Flux and seeing like shots of the TARDIS in space and the alien ships. It is absolutely stunning, and I feel like that if Chris did this earlier on, instead of focusing and shooting abroad and stuff, he probably would have nailed the other two seasons as well. But again, it's early. It is too early to say if he has nailed this already. But from what I saw of this episode, I think he might actually have a perfect season on his hands if the other episodes hold up. But in terms of the opening of the episode, I did really enjoy that as well. Getting to see the Doctor and Yaz kind of acting like a duo that we haven't seen before, and it's kind of good to see their friendship kind of have some doubts where like the Yaz, like where Yaz wants to know what's going on with the Doctor, like because the Doctor has difficulties expressing herself and is hiding stuff about her past, and Yaz is trying like hell to find out what's going on, and it leads to a little bit of an uneasy alliance at certain points. But you know, it's all part of building up for this series, where hopefully there might be a kind of final development on this where, you know, they get closer, and I guess, you know, we will have a more trustworthy alliance between these two characters. But yeah, just to summarize everything, because I have rambled a lot in this. I've literally just watched the episode and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a review on this. So excited. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed the special effects, the CGI, all of that good stuff. It was stunning. Oh my god, it was stunning. It was kind of like on par with more, but it was other shows that are got a bigger budget, like some of the Disney Plus shows. It worked absolutely fantastically, and I can't wait to see how it goes on in future episodes. But I did enjoy as well seeing cameos from the Sontarans and the Weeping Angels, setting them up for future episodes, and obviously seeing the Doctor and Yaz having an interesting dynamic. I did enjoy that, and obviously the character Dan. I'm already invested. I want to see more of John Bishop already. But in terms of things I didn't like, I just want to say that there was a lot of things being set up that, yes, I do understand it is the first episode of a serialized story, but it was kind of hard to keep track, and I think that's probably the only thing that I can kind of say in doubt of this series, this episode, was that it was a little bit hard to keep concentrated on what's going on. And it's kind of like Avengers Infinity War. There was so many things going on from so many different perspectives. For one big story, it was hard to keep focus on. But in terms of a final score, I would give this episode a 9 out of 10. And I am so excited for what is going to happen next week in episode 2, War of the Sontarans. But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.